So, the new Mario Galaxy movie has landed, and I'm sure we can all be very reasonable about this. Let's be real. Critics can be pretty stupid, often finding flowery ways to say, I don't like this, I think it stinks. And that's great, but that person clearly isn't in the target demographic, so it's very unhelpful. No acknowledgement of the film's function, just that this guy thinks it stinks. And we see a lot of those reviews, and any idiot can do that. So, what are these critics getting paid for? Dishonor, give me your jobs immediately. Take a look at this bozo here. Dude kneecaps whatever point he could have made by effectively trauma-dumping his whole experience with the movie. So I'm sure this comes from a very relevant perspective, right? Film is terrible for clearly mentally very unhealthy people. This person is just trying to figure out how many relevant buzzwords they can squeeze into their quote-unquote review to generate clicks with zero respect for the film or the reader's time. Yes, some critics are fucking useless. Is that reason to disregard any and all criticism? So okay, I'll give my 2 cents on the movie, having now seen it. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is perfectly functional. The kids at my screening seem to love the film. I don't think the parents by any means appear to be having a bad time either. Clearly, it was delivering on the laughs, action, and fan service, and if that's all, and I really do mean all that you ask, then the Super Mario Galaxy movie is for you. If you enjoyed the first movie, you'll probably enjoy this one too. But as a movie, in terms of quality, once again, the Super Mario Galaxy movie does not hold up. This is why the critics don't like these movies. They are movie critics. Their job is to scrutinize movies. The Super Mario Galaxy movie, in my opinion, is not a good movie. At the same time, I think it would be at least useful if critics would at least address the actual target demographics and consider whether the movie is going to meet the wants of its target demographic, which I am quite confident is where this film will end up succeeding. For reference, I really don't have anything against Mario or his movies. As a Mario fan, I'm casual, I'll admit that. I do gravitate more towards his old rival Sonic, but Mario definitely brings the quality, and I'd be silly to deny that. This is revolutionary, but I think it's fine. Again, revolutionary, shows its age in some areas, but it is rewarding to stick with. This was pretty experimental and cool, I like this. Yep, fine. Holy fuck. Maybe one of the best games I've ever played. Holy fuck again. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I really only bought this one for Rayman, but it's actually a brilliant game. And I tell you what, the original Mario movie from the 90s, actually a super cool movie in my opinion. It's got some Mario iconography worked into some production design that really gets my Goomba growing. It's got Walk the Dinosaur in it. Banger, by the way. I could only find it with a VPN in Canada, but there's an 8-minute listing of that song that changes into a completely different song in the second half, and it's awesome. I'll link it in the pin. Ultimately, it matters a lot more to me that these movies are of a high quality than that as a Mario enjoyer, they tickle my little Pepsi can. While I may love the 90s Mario movie as a film goober, there's really not much point in a Mario movie if there's not much there for the die-hard fan, so I'll concede that my opinion is shit. I don't think I can really change that, though. But there's got to be more to these new movies than fan service, because, alright, hot take, these Mario movies aren't accurate at all. Despite the art style, despite the many, many references, the music, the locations, the characters, the cameos, well, the Mario games are products of exceptional quality. If the Mario movies want to be accurate to the games, they should be of exceptional quality for movies. So before anyone asks what I expected, I actually laid out in a video already, but I'll make it quick. I expected more of the first movie. Excellent animation, well-coordinated action beats, a film heavy on references but with mere crumbs of narrative theming. I really have nothing against this movie, but I can fully understand why film critics weren't too kind to it because as a film, it just isn't very good. Cut it down to just the action scenes and make the chairs move, and it's exactly the kind of quality of storytelling I'd expect from an amusement park ride. And if said amusement park ride ended up becoming your favorite thing in the world, no shame. Honestly, I love amusement park rides. I don't think they make great movies, though. The first movie I generally liked more than I didn't. I think it speaks to the world of Mario that just brand recognition was kind of enough for that first movie to work. It just didn't make it a great movie. And this is almost exactly what the Mario Galaxy movie ended up being as well. For this movie, I expected more of the same, and I got more of the same. So is this the part where I'm supposed to be more generous towards it? If anything, I found this one to be a bit more tedious and uneven than the first movie, and the Galaxy subtitle was not helping matters at all. But we'll look at the positives first. The animation is excellent, as is the choreography. Once again, the score presents lots of lovely arrangements of classic Mario tracks, and you definitely can't claim any lack of confidence in the IP. But again, that is all this movie has to offer. The strongest parts of the first movie were, in my opinion, exploring Mario's roots in Brooklyn, showcasing his ambitions and his brotherhood with Luigi. But that's really nowhere to be found this time. If you only watched this movie, you'd probably assume that Mario and Luigi grew up in the Mushroom Kingdom. Save for maybe Yoshi's introductory montage. Yeah, I gotta be fair, it is in there. But it goes by so quick, and, nothing is said about it. Mario's only motivation is that he has a bit of a crush on Peach and wants to do right by her. And even that gets absolutely feeble payoff. In terms of character development and theming, it's absolute crumbs once again. The first movie at least had Mario's desire for independence and people underestimating him. For this movie, while Mario and Luigi are at least side by side for a significant chunk of the runtime, they're largely relegated to comedic B-plots, while Princess Peach kinda undergoes a little character development, but mostly off-screen. Luigi has more screen time this time, yet has less to do. The highlight of the movie was easily Bowser, but even with him, I'm not really sure where we landed on the arc that he alluded to. He's got the most to do thematically here, but even then, the themes are a bit looser this time than they were in the first movie, and end up the exact same. Family, right? Yeah, family. Wow, family good. This movie was also a lot worse for expositional dialogue as well, with clunky scenes where characters spell out their backstories and motivations, and the animators are working overtime to make this anything more than just exposition. The first film's rollercoaster pacing was a problem the first time around, but this time it's even worse. Main characters will appear and disappear in and out of relevance as we flip through this barrage of side plots. There's a whole 15 minutes before the third act that you could easily cut out, but I'd go further and say, the film only really gets going at the third act. Until that point, it's hijinks that amount to nothing. King Wart was on the poster. What did he actually amount to? Why was his scene important? Why did it matter? And that really seems to be this film's gambit. Are we clearly running low on material? Look, guys! Star Fox! Sound effects from the games! Sprites! The script hides behind the fan service, which is sissy boy behavior if you ask me. The Yoshi stuff was fun for a TV episode. This stuff really felt like a straight-to-DVD sequel. Hey, shall we spend some time re-establishing Mario and Luigi and where they're at now? Pfft, nah, here's Yoshi. Fortunately, Yoshi is endearing, that I can't deny. Genuinely, hats off to the production team. They did all the heavy lifting here, and the script is just dookie. I really don't mean to be backhanded, but the writing is the entire problem. Why should the animation be this good when the script is so weak? Why can't we have a consistent quality standard from the visuals to the scripting? Why shouldn't the Mario movies be masterpieces, like the Mario games? Why shouldn't someone expect that? I really am fine with simple stories and quest narratives, but themes aren't optional. Meaningful character development is not optional. My girl, Princess Rosalina, reduced to a MacGuffin. We learn a bit more about Princess Peach's backstory, but it doesn't add anything because it happens right at the very end of the movie. Bowser Jr. is just a rambunctious kid that ultimately wants to free his dad, so surely we could treat his character with maybe a teeny bit more sympathy than Bowser before him, right? They don't. There are times when it looks like they might, but they never do. Things happen in this movie, one after the next, with no time to digest, and no time for any of it to matter. That is the stuff that gives these stories personality and staying power. Mario doesn't get a free pass from that just because the game's never prioritized story. This is a movie. It has to prioritize narrative elements. Mario fans, you genuinely do not need to push back against criticism. It is such a waste of your time and energy. If you had fun with your product, that's great. But to me, it doesn't really hold up under scrutiny. Maybe you disagree and that's fine, but as a Sonic fan, I can completely empathize with a reluctance to admit that something you really like doesn't hold up under scrutiny. Sonic Frontiers is a game I absolutely adore, but it is very easy to take the piss out of because, I mean, look at it. Kinda sucks admitting that something I had a great time with doesn't really hold up under scrutiny, especially when we're basically trained to scrutinize everything now. Like, of course my eyes are on every scene. It's 2026 and we have to check everything for evidence of AI tampering. And with the state of the world feeling more and more like being chauffeured by Princess Diana's driver, for many of us, entertainment can feel a bit like all we have. It makes those positive experiences so valuable that when we're given blatant half measures, we can just willfully give our affections over anyway, because we still love it. It can make us reluctant to have that love challenged by sometimes legitimate criticisms, or sometimes people like this asshole. All I'm saying is, this is why the critics don't like the movies. The same way I don't like the movies. Genuinely, do not worry about that. Don't worry if critics think this movie sucks. It's because by their standards, it sucks. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. That doesn't mean you can't make a case for it either. Your word is valuable. But as someone who thought this movie was kind of dookie and kind of generally agrees with the critical sentiment, mine is no less valuable than yours. Alright? So let's just be sane about this. Now, where would I be without the generosity of my trusty patrons? We're going to start with a shout out for the patrons in the $10 and above tiers. We have Just Another Evil Robot Clone Seeking Revenge, Xander Wolf, Ghostly Phantom, Twilord, KB, Sad Goku, Dare Denny, Kale Bennett. If I had more space, I'd explain that. It's taken me way too long to update this. And Mr. SP, Sirius the Skeptic, and Biotin. And now, on to the patrons in the $5 and above tier. We've got Joseph Tribble, Press Play to Jason, Gideon Wells, Basic Content, Ben Raven, Reese Burns, Manalza, Goat Cannon, Silver, Josh Strider, Grant Allen, Marv Animation, Cho Henshin, RT0, Carlex, SSS06, and Vera Wild. Thank you, good folks, so much for your generosity. The video's now over. Get out.